What is up, everybody? JT Dangerously here once again. I am here to do my Week 5 college football predictions. Now, with Week 4 in the books, we are now into Week 5 of the college football season. So I'm extremely excited to do my Week 5 college football predictions for you guys, and I hope you guys do enjoy. Now, our record in Week 4 was fantastic. We went 31-9, so we're coming in extremely hot, and I'm looking to keep it that way. So over this video, we will continue the winning ways. We're on a 4-week winning streak. Hope in this video we make it 5 weeks in a row, hopefully. Now, this is the first video of a combined 3 video day on the channel today and this week, guys, and these are the final 3 videos in the month of September. So I hope you guys will be able to watch this video and all the fantastic videos we put up on the channel in the month of September this year. And as always, show your support on the channel as always, guys, by watching these videos, super kicking those like buttons, hitting that notification bell, and commenting your picks, your opinions, and representing your college football teams in the comment sections down below. Now, this is your first time watching my channel today, guys, as a first-time viewer, and this is your first video. Boy, I picked to go in if you're a huge fan of college football like myself, and you're ready for Week 5 of the college football season. Welcome to the Dangerous Alliance. I'm JT Dangerously. Welcome to the club, because this club is just two. Whoop, whoop, again, thank you guys so very much. Now, other than that, let's get right into my Week 5 college football predictions. Let's begin first with the big game on Thursday night, because it is the battle for the old wagon wheel between the Utah State Aggies heading to Provo, Utah to face the BYU Cougars. Now, this is the 91st meeting between Utah State and BYU. BYU leads the all-time series 50-37-3. Now, the Cougars have won the last 2 meetings over the Aggies back in 2019 and last year, and the Aggies are looking to defeat the Cougars for the first time since 2018. Now, starting off with Utah State, they are coming off their loss on Saturday night to UNLV, and the Aggies are desperately looking to rebound and bounce back on the road and get a big victory on Thursday night. There is idea of the BYU Cougars coming off their victory on Saturday night over Wyoming, and the Cougars are looking to continue winning ways and get a big victory at home. So coming from me in the battle for the old wagon wheel on Thursday night, I am going to go with Jared Hall and the BYU Cougars to get it done at home and defeat the Utah State Aggies. And now the next matchups, which will happen on Friday night, starting off with an American Athletic Conference rivalry showdown between the Tulane Green Wave heading to Houston, Texas to face the Houston Cougars. Now, this is the 27th meeting between Tulane and Houston. Houston leads the all-time series 19-7. Now, the Cougars have won the last 2 meetings over the Green Wave back in 2020 and last year, and the Green Wave are looking to defeat the Cougars for the first time since 2019. Now, Tulane's coming off their loss on Saturday to Southern Miss, and the Green Wave are looking to rebound and bounce back on the road on Friday. There is idea of the Houston Cougars coming out their victory over Rice on Saturday, and the Cougars are looking to continue winning ways and get a big victory at home and get back to 500. So coming from me in this American Athletic Conference rivalry showdown on Friday night, I am going to go with the Green Wave of Tulane to rebound and bounce back on the road and defeat the Houston Cougars in a close one. And now the next matchup on Friday night. It is a Mountain West Conference rivalry showdown between the San Diego State Aztecs heading to the Smurf Turf in Boise, Idaho to face my Boise State Broncos. Now, this is the 8th meeting between San Diego State and Boise State. San Diego State leads the series 4-3. Now, the Aztecs have won the last 2 meetings over my Broncos back in 2018 and last year, and my Broncos are looking to defeat the Aztecs for the first time since 2017. Now, San Diego State's coming off their victory over Toledo on Saturday, and the Aztecs are looking to continue winning ways and get above 500 with a victory on the road. There is how you have my Boise State Broncos coming off their loss last Friday over UTEP in a very surprising loss, and my Broncos are looking to rebound and bounce back at home against a Mountain West Conference rival. So coming from me in this Mountain West Conference rivalry showdown on Friday night, man, this one's going to be a tough one. But coming from me, I'm going to go with Hank Bachmeier and my Boise State Broncos to rebound and bounce back at home and defeat the San Diego State Aztecs in a close shootout. And our next matchup, it is another Mountain West Conference rivalry showdown between the New Mexico Lobos heading to Allegiance Field, aka the Death Star in Las Vegas, to face the UNLV Rebels. Now, this is the 26th meeting between New Mexico and UNLV. UNLV leads the all-time series 13-12. Now, the Rebels won last year's meeting over the Lobos, and the Lobos are looking to defeat the Rebels for the first time since 2018. Now, New Mexico is coming off their loss on Saturday night to LSU, and the Lobos are looking to rebound and bounce back on the road and get above 500. There is idea of the UNLV Rebels coming off their victory on Saturday night over Utah State, and the Rebels are looking to continue winning ways and get a big victory at home. So coming from me in this Mountain West Conference rivalry showdown on Friday night, I am going to go with the UNLV Rebels to get it done at home and defeat the New Mexico Lobos. And our next matchup, it is a huge Pac-12 rivalry showdown, one of the big games in Week 5 of the college football season between the undefeated Washington Huskies heading to Pasadena, California to face the undefeated UCLA Bruins. Now this is the 76th meeting between Washington and UCLA. UCLA leads the all-time series 40, 33, and 2. Now the Bruins won last year's meeting over the Huskies, and the Huskies are looking to defeat the Bruins for the first time since 2018. Now both teams are coming off big wins in Week 4. Washington beat Stanford on Saturday night, and UCLA defeated winless Colorado on Saturday as well. So coming from me in this massive Pac-12 rivalry showdown, one of the many big games in Week number 5 of the college football season between these two undefeated squads. Man, this one's a tough pick because Washington's been looking good, but UCLA is also looking good. But this one's going to be a tough one. But I am going to go with the undefeated Washington Huskies to get it done on the road and remain undefeated and defeat the UCLA Bruins in a banger. And now the Saturday slate, starting off with an ACC Coastal rivalry showdown between the Virginia Tech Hokies heading to Chapel Hill, North Carolina to face the North Carolina Tar Heels. Now this is the 44th meeting between Virginia Tech and North Carolina. Virginia Tech leads the all-time series 25, 12, and 6. Now the Hokies won last year's meeting over the Tar Heels, and the Tar Heels are looking to defeat the Hokies for the first time in over 2 years. Now Virginia Tech is coming off their loss on Thursday to West Virginia, and the Hokies are looking to rebound and bounce back on the road. There's already have the North Carolina Tar Heels coming off their loss on Saturday to Notre Dame, and Mac Brown is looking to get his Tar Heels back on the winning track and get it done at home. So coming from me in this ACC Coastal rivalry showdown, I am going to go with Mac Brown's North Carolina Tar Heels to rebound and bounce back at home and defeat the Virginia Tech Hokies in a close one. And our next matchup, it is another ACC Coastal rivalry showdown between the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets heading to Heinz Field to face the Pittsburgh Panthers. Now this is the 17th meeting between Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh leads the all-time series 11-5. Now the Panthers have won the last 4 meetings over the Yellow Jackets, and the Yellow Jackets are looking to defeat the Panthers for the first time since 2017. Now Georgia Tech is coming off their loss to UCF on Saturday, and the Yellow Jackets are desperately looking to rebound and bounce back on the road. There's the idea of the Pitt Panthers coming off their victory over Rhode Island on Saturday, and the Panthers are looking to continue the winning ways and get it done at home. So coming from me in this ACC Coastal rivalry showdown, I am going to go with Pat Narduzzi and the Pittsburgh Panthers to get it done at home and defeat the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. And our next matchup, it is a matchup I'm always excited for because it's the battle between two military academies, the Midshipmen of Navy heading to the Air Force Academy to face the Falcons of the Air Force. Now this is the 55th meeting between Navy and the Air Force Academy. The Air Force Academy leads the all-time series 32-22. Now the Falcons have won the last 2 meetings over the Midshipmen back in 2020 and last year, and the Midshipmen are looking to defeat the Falcons for the first time since 2019. Now Navy is coming off the loss to East Carolina on Saturday, and the Midshipmen are looking to rebound and bounce back on the road. There is the idea of the Air Force Falcons coming off their big victory on Friday over Nevada, and the Falcons are looking to fly high and get another big victory at home. So coming from me in this battle between these two military academies, man, this one's going to be good. I definitely respect the Naval Academy and the United States Air Force, so this one's going to be good. But coming from me, I am going to go with the Air Force Academy Falcons to get it done at home and defeat the Navy Midshipmen. And our next matchup between my city's Fresno State Bulldogs heading to East Hartford, Connecticut to face the UConn Huskies. Now this is only the second meeting between Fresno State and UConn. The Bulldogs won last year's meeting over the Huskies, so this is the much anticipated rematch. Now Fresno State's coming off their bye week. They're coming in at 1-2, and Jet Tedford is looking to get his Bulldogs back on a winning track and get a victory on the road. There is the idea of the UConn Huskies coming off their loss to NC State on Saturday, and the Huskies are desperately looking to rebound and bounce back at home. So coming from me in this matchup, I'm going to go with Jet Tedford and my city's Fresno State Bulldogs to rebound and bounce back on the road and defeat the UConn Huskies. Go Dogs! And our next matchup, it is an American Athletic Conference rivalry showdown between the East Carolina Pirates heading to Raymond James Stadium in Tampa to face the South Florida Bulls. Now this is the 13th meeting between East Carolina and South Florida. South Florida leads the all-time series 9-3. Now the Pirates have won the last 2 meetings over the Bulls back in 2020 and last year, and the Bulls are looking to defeat the Pirates for the first time since 2019. Now East Carolina is coming off their victory in overtime over Navy on Saturday, and the Pirates are looking to continue winning ways and get it done on on the road and get back to 500. Their side, you have the South Florida Bulls coming off their loss to Louisville on Saturday, and the Bulls are looking desperately to get back on the winning track and get a big victory at home. So coming from me in this American Athletic Conference rivalry showdown, I am going to go with the East Carolina Pirates to get it done on the road and defeat the South Florida Bulls. And our next matchup between the Troy Trojans heading to Bowling Green, Kentucky to face the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Now this is the 13th meeting between Troy and Western Kentucky. Troy leads the all-time series 9-2-1. Now the Trojans won the last meeting over the Hilltoppers all the way back in 2013, and the Hilltoppers are looking to defeat the Trojans for the first time since 2012. Now Troy is coming off their victory on Saturday night over Marshall, and the Trojans are looking to continue winning ways and get a big victory on the road. There is idea of the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers coming off their victory over Florida International on Saturday, and the Hilltoppers are looking to continue winning ways and get it done at home. So coming from me in this matchup, I am going to go with the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers to get it done at home and defeat the Troy Trojans. And now the next matchup, it is a MAC West rivalry showdown between the Central Michigan Chippewas heading to Toledo, Ohio to face the Toledo Rockets. Now this is the 51st meeting between Central Michigan and Toledo. Toledo leads the all-time series 27-20-3. Now the Chippewas won last year's meeting over the Rockets, and the Rockets are looking to defeat the Chippewas for the first time in over 2 years. Now Central Michigan's coming off their loss to Penn State on Saturday, and the Chippewas are desperately looking to rebound and bounce back on the road against a MAC West rival. There's idea of the Toledo Rockets coming off their loss to San Diego State on Saturday, and the Rockets are looking to rebound and bounce back at home. So coming from me in this MAC West rivalry showdown, I am going to go with the Toledo Rockets to rebound and bounce back at home and defeat the Central Michigan Chippewas in a close one. And our next matchup is an American Athletic Conference rivalry showdown between the SMU Mustangs heading to Orlando to face the Central Florida Knights. Now this is the 11th meeting between SMU and UCF. UCF leads the all-time series 8-2. Now the Mustangs won last year's meeting over the Knights, and the Knights are looking to defeat the Mustangs for the first time since 2018. Now SMU is coming off the loss to TCU on Saturday, and the Mustangs are looking to rebound and bounce back on the road. There is idea of the Central Florida Knights coming off their victory on Saturday over Georgia Tech, and I know my good friend Scott Weeks in Sports, who is a die-hard Central Florida Knights fan, is hopeful his Knights can continue winning ways and get it done here at home. So coming from me in this American Athletic Conference rivalry showdown, this one's kind of a tricky one, but coming from me, I'm going to go with my good friend Scott Weeks in Sports and his UCF Knights to get it done at home and defeat the SMU Mustangs in a close one. And our next matchup, it is a huge Pac-12 rivalry showdown between the Oregon State Beavers heading to Salt Lake City, Utah to face the Utah Utes. Now this is the 25th meeting between Oregon State and Utah. Oregon State leads the series 12-11-1. Now the Beavers won last year's meeting over the Utes, and the Utes are looking to defeat the Beavers for the first time in 2 years. Now Oregon State's coming off a heartbreaking loss to USC on Saturday night. They had to lead late, but they had so many mistakes from their quarterback Cam Ward, who had I think 4 picks in that game. So the Beavers are looking to rebound and bounce back on the road against another Pac-12 rival. There is idea of the Utah Utes coming off their Saturday night victory over Arizona State, and the Utes are looking to continue winning ways and get it done at home. So coming from me in this Pac-12 rivalry showdown between these two 3-1 teams, I am going to go with the Utah Utes to get it done at home and defeat the Oregon State Beavers in a shootout. And now the next matchup, it is a Big Ten East rivalry showdown between the Rutgers Scarlet Knights heading to Columbus to face the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now this is only the 9th meeting between Rutgers and Ohio State. The Buckeyes have won the last 8 meetings over the Scarlet Knights, dating all the way back to 2014. So the Buckeyes have owned this rivalry for 8 years. Now Rutgers is coming off their first loss of the season on Saturday, losing to Iowa, and the Scarlet Knights are looking to rebound and bounce back on the road against a huge Big Ten East rival. There's idea of the Ohio State Buckeyes coming off their beatdown victory on Saturday over Wisconsin, and the Buckeyes are looking to continue winning ways and remain undefeated. So coming from me in this Big Ten East rivalry showdown, I am going to go with C.J. Stroud and the Ohio State Buckeyes to get it done at home and remain undefeated and defeat the Rutgers Scarlet Knights in a shootout. OHIO. And now next matchup, it is an ACC Coastal rivalry showdown between the Virginia Cavaliers heading to Durham, North Carolina to face the Duke Blue Devils. Now this is the 74th meeting between Virginia and Duke. Virginia leads the all-time series 40-33. Now, the Cavaliers have won the last 7 meetings over the Blue Devils, dating all the way back to 2015, and the Blue Devils are looking to finally beat the Cavaliers for the first time since 2014. Now, Virginia is coming off their loss on Friday night to Syracuse, and the Cavaliers are looking to rebound and bounce back on the road. Thursday, you have the Duke Blue Devils coming off their loss to Kansas on Saturday, and the Blue Devils are looking to rebound and bounce back at home. So, coming from me in this ACC Coastal Rivalry Showdown, another tough pick. But coming from me, I am going to go with the Duke Blue Devils to rebound and bounce back at home and defeat the Virginia Cavaliers in a close one. And our next matchup, it is an SEC rivalry showdown between the undefeated Kentucky Wildcats heading to Oxford, Mississippi to face the undefeated Ole Miss Rebels. Now, this is the 44th meeting between Kentucky and Ole Miss. Ole Miss leads the old-time series 28-14-1. Now, the Rebels have won the last 2 meetings over the Wildcats back in 2017 and 2020, and the Wildcats are looking to defeat the Rebels for the first time since 2011. Now, Kentucky's coming off their victory over Northern Illinois on Saturday, and the Wildcats are looking to continue winning ways and remain undefeated. Thursday, you have the Ole Miss Rebels coming off their victory over Tulsa on Saturday, and the Rebels are looking to continue winning ways and also remain undefeated. So, coming from me in this huge SEC rivalry, another big game in Week 5 of the college football season between these two undefeated squads, I am going to go with Mark Stoops, Will Levis, and the Kentucky Wildcats to get it done on the road and remain undefeated and defeat the Ole Miss Rebels in a banger. And our next matchup between the Texas State Bobcats heading to Harrisburg, Virginia to face the undefeated Dukes of James Madison. Now, Texas State's coming off their victory over Houston Christian on Saturday, and the Bobcats are looking to continue winning ways and get a victory on the road. Thursday, you have the James Madison Dukes coming off their huge victory over Appalachian State on Saturday, and the Dukes are looking to continue winning ways and remain undefeated. So, coming from me in this matchup, I am going to go with the Dukes of James Madison to get it done at home and remain undefeated and defeat the Texas State Bobcats. And our next matchup, it is a Pac-12 rivalry showdown between the winless Colorado Buffaloes heading to Tucson, Arizona to face the Arizona Wildcats. Now, this is the 25th meeting between Colorado and Arizona. Colorado leads the old-time series 16-8. Now, the Buffaloes have won the last 2 meetings over the Wildcats back in 2020 and last year, and the Wildcats are looking to defeat the Buffs for the first time since 2019. Now, Colorado's coming off another loss on Saturday, losing to UCLA, and the Buffaloes are desperately looking for their first victory of the season, and they're looking to get it done on the road. Thursday, you have the Arizona Wildcats coming off their loss to Cal on Saturday, and the Wildcats are looking to rebound and bounce back at home. So, coming from me in this Pac-12 rivalry showdown, will Colorado finally get their first victory of the season here? I don't think so. I think I'm going to go with the Arizona Wildcats to rebound and bounce back at home and defeat the winless Colorado Buffaloes. And our next matchup, it is an American Athletic Conference rivalry showdown between the Temple Owls heading to Memphis, Tennessee to face the Memphis Tigers. Now, this is the 8th meeting between Temple and Memphis. Temple leads the old-time series 4-3. Now, the Owls won last year's meeting over the Tigers, and the Tigers are looking to defeat the Owls for the first time in 2 years. Now, Temple's coming out their victory over UMass on Saturday, and E.J. Warner's looking to ride his Owls to a victory on the road. Thursday, you have the Memphis Tigers coming off their victory over North Texas on Saturday, and the Tigers are looking to continue winning ways and get a big victory at home. So, coming from me in this American Athletic Conference rivalry showdown, I am going to go with the Memphis Tigers to get it done at home and defeat the Temple Owls in a shootout. And our next matchup, it is a huge Big 12 rivalry showdown, another big game in week number 5 of the college football season between the Iowa State Cyclones heading to Lawrence, Kansas to face the surprising undefeated Kansas Jayhawks. Now, this is the 102nd meeting between Iowa State and Kansas. Kansas leads the old-time series 50-45-6. Now, the Cyclones have won the last 7 meetings over the Jayhawks, dating all the way back to 2015, and the Jayhawks are looking to finally defeat the Cyclones for the first time since 2014. Now, Iowa State's coming out the loss to Baylor on Saturday, and the Cyclones are looking to rebound and bounce back on the road. Thursday, you have the undefeated Kansas Jayhawks coming off their victory over Duke on Saturday, and I gotta say it, this has got to be the biggest surprise in the Big 12 Conference this year. I don't think anybody saw Kansas coming in to the Week 5 of the college football season undefeated at 4-0, and the Kansas Jayhawks are looking to prove more people wrong and looking to get it done at home. So coming from me in this Big 12 rivalry showdown, another big game in week number 5 of the college football season, Ooh, this one's going to be good. This one's definitely going to be a shootout for sure. But I am going to go with Jalen Daniels and the undefeated Kansas Jayhawks to get it done at home and remain undefeated and defeat the Iowa State Cyclones in a shootout. Rock Chalk, Jayhawk. And our next matchup, it is a Mountain West Conference rivalry showdown between the San Jose State Spartans heading to Laramie, Wyoming to face the Wyoming Cowboys. Now this is the 13th meeting between San Jose State and Wyoming. Wyoming leads the old-time series 7-5. Now the Spartans won last year's meeting over the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are looking to defeat the Spartans for the first time since 2018. Now San Jose State's coming off their victory over Western Michigan on Saturday, and the Spartans are looking to continue winning ways and get a victory on the road. Their other side, you have the Wyoming Cowboys coming off the loss to BYU on Saturday night, and the Cowboys are looking to rebound and bounce back at home. So coming from me in this Mountain West Conference rivalry showdown, I am going to go with the Wyoming Cowboys to rebound and bounce back at home and defeat the San Jose State Spartans in a shootout. And our next matchup, it is a huge Big 12 rivalry showdown between the West Virginia Mountaineers heading to Austin, Texas to face the Texas Longhorns. Now this is the 12th meeting between West Virginia and Texas. West Virginia leads the old-time series 6-5. Now the Mountaineers won last year's meeting over the Longhorns, and the Longhorns are looking to defeat the Mountaineers for the first time in 2 years. Now West Virginia is coming out their victory on Thursday night over Virginia Tech, and JT Daniels and the Mountaineers are looking to continue winning ways and get a big victory on the road. There is idea of the Texas Longhorns coming out their heartbreaking loss in overtime, losing to Texas Tech, and the Longhorns are looking desperately to rebound and bounce back at home. So coming from me in this Big 12 rivalry showdown, man, this one's tough. But coming from me, as much as I hate this team, I am going to go with B. John Robinson and the Texas Longhorns to rebound and bounce back at home and defeat the West Virginia Mountaineers in a shootout. Hook 'em. And our next matchup, it is another Big 12 rivalry showdown, another big game in week number 5 of the college football season between the Texas Tech Red Raiders heading to Manhattan, Kansas to face the Kansas State Wildcats. Now this is the 23rd meeting between Texas Tech and Kansas State. Kansas State leads the old-time series 13-9. Now the Wildcats have won the last 6 meetings over the Red Raiders, dating all the way back to 2016, and the Red Raiders are looking to finally beat the Wildcats for the first time since 2015. Now Texas Tech is coming off their big victory in overtime over Texas on Saturday, and the Red Raiders are looking to continue winning ways and get a big victory on the road. There is side, you have the Kansas State Wildcats coming off their victory on Saturday over my Oklahoma Sooners. I'll give them a lot of credit. They got the job done. Adrian Martinez had 4 rushing touchdowns in that game, and the Wildcats are looking to continue winning ways and get a big victory at home. So coming from me in this Big 12 rivalry showdown, I am going to go with Adrian Martinez, Deuce Vaughn, and the Kansas State Wildcats to get it done at home and defeat the Texas Tech Red Raiders in a shootout. And our next matchup, it is a Big 10 West rivalry showdown between the Illinois Fighting Illini heading to Madison, Wisconsin to face the Wisconsin Badgers. Now this is the 90th meeting between Illinois and Wisconsin. Wisconsin leads the all-time series 44-38-7. Now the Badgers have won the last 2 meetings over the Fighting Illini back in 2020 and last year, and the Illini are looking to finally beat the Badgers for the first time since 2019. Now starting off with Illinois, they're coming off their big victory on Thursday over Chattanooga. Tommy DeVito, aka Tommy D, baby, got it done for him, and I know my good friend, Gamers Goon, who is a die-hard Fighting Illini fan, is hopeful his Illini will continue winning ways and get a big victory here on the road. There is idea of the Wisconsin Badgers after getting absolutely spanked by Ohio State on Saturday. The Badgers are looking to rebound and bounce back at home. So coming from me in this Big 10 West rivalry showdown, 2 great quarterbacks. Tommy DeVito, a.k.a. Tommy D, baby, versus Graham Mertz. This one's going to be good, but coming from me, I am going to go with Tommy DeVito, a.k.a. Tommy D, baby, and Gamers Goons Fighting Illini of Illinois to get it done on the road and defeat the Wisconsin Badgers in a close shootout. Fight, Illini, fight. And our next matchup, it is another Big 10 West rivalry showdown between the Purdue Boilermakers heading to Minneapolis, Minnesota to face the undefeated Minnesota Golden Gophers. Now this is the 78th meeting between Purdue and Minnesota. Minnesota leads the all-time series 41-33-3. Now the Golden Gophers have won the last 4 meetings over the Boilermakers dating all the way back to 2018, and the Boilermakers are looking to finally defeat the Golden Gophers for the first time since 2017. Now Purdue is coming off their victory on Saturday night over Florida Atlantic, and the Boilermakers are looking to continue winning ways and knock off an undefeated Big Ten squad on the road. Their side, you have the undefeated Minnesota Golden Gophers coming out their huge victory over Michigan State on Saturday, and boy, this team is looking good. I mean, they made the playoff. They made a bowl last year with I think 9 wins last year, and this Gophers team is looking really good. And the Gophers are looking to continue winning ways and remain undefeated. So coming from me in this Big Ten West rivalry showdown, I am going to go with the Minnesota Golden Gophers to get it done at home and remain undefeated and defeat the Purdue Boilermakers in a close shootout. And now next matchup, it is a Big Ten rivalry showdown between the Northwestern Wildcats heading to Happy Valley to face the undefeated Penn State Nittany Lions. Now this is the 20th meeting between Northwestern and Penn State. Penn State leads the old-time series 14-5. Now, the Nittany Lions won the last meeting over the Wildcats all the way back in 2017, and the Wildcats are looking to defeat the Nittany Lions for the first time since 2015. Now, Northwestern's coming off their loss on Saturday to Miami of Ohio, and the Wildcats are looking desperately to rebound and bounce back on the road. Their side, you have the undefeated Nittany Lions of Penn State coming out their victory over Central Michigan on Saturday, and the Nittany Lions are looking to continue winning ways and remain undefeated. So, coming from me in this Big Ten rivalry showdown, I am going to go with Sean Clifford and the Penn State Nittany Lions to get it done at home and remain undefeated and defeat the Northwestern Wildcats in a potential blowout. We are Penn State. And our next matchup, it is a Sun Belt East rivalry showdown, another big game in Week 5 of the college football season between the Georgia Southern Eagles heading to Conway, South Carolina to face the undefeated Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. Now this is the 9th meeting between Georgia Southern and Coastal Carolina. Georgia Southern leads the old-time series 5-3. Now, the Chanticleers have won the last 2 meetings over the Eagles back in 2020 and last year, and the Eagles are looking to finally defeat the Chanticleers for the first time since 2019. Now, Georgia Southern's coming off their victory over Ball State on Saturday, and the Eagles are looking to continue winning ways and get a big victory on the road. There is idea of the undefeated Coastal Carolina Chanticleers coming off their victory over Georgia State on Saturday, and the Chanticleers are looking to continue winning ways and remain undefeated. So, coming from me in the Sun Belt East rivalry showdown, another big game in week number 5 of the college football season, I am going to go with Grayson McCall and the undefeated Coastal Carolina Chanticleers to get it done at home and remain undefeated and defeat the Georgia Southern Eagles in a shootout. And our next matchup, it is a huge Big 12 rivalry showdown, another big game in week number 5 between my Oklahoma Sooners heading to Fort Worth, Texas to face the undefeated TCU Horned Frogs. Now this is the 23rd meeting between Oklahoma and TCU. Oklahoma leads the old-time series 17-5. Now my Sooners have won the last 8 meetings over the Horned Frogs dating all the way back to 2015, and the Horned Frogs are looking to defeat my Sooners for the first time since 2014. Now, my Oklahoma Sooners are coming off their loss on Saturday at home, losing to Kansas State. Dylan Gabriel did have a fantastic game, but we fell short, and my Sooners are looking to rebound and bounce back on the road. There is idea of the TCU Horned Frogs coming off their victory in the Iron Skillet Battle, defeating SMU, and the Horned Frogs are looking to continue winning ways and get a huge victory at home. So, coming from me in this Big 12 rivalry showdown, another big game in week number 5, Dylan Gabriel versus Max Duggan. This one's going to be good when it comes to the quarterback showdown. But coming from me, I am going to go with Dylan Gabriel, Brett Venables, and my Oklahoma Sooners to rebound and bounce back on the road and defeat the TCU Horned Frogs in a slobber knocker. Boomer Sooner. And now the next matchup. It is another Big 12 rivalry showdown, and this is the one I've been absolutely waiting for because this is the rematch of last year's Big 12 championship game between the Oklahoma State Cowboys heading to Waco, Texas to face the Baylor Bears. Now this is the 42nd meeting between Oklahoma State and Baylor. Oklahoma State leads the old-time series 22-19. Now the Baylor Bears won the last meeting over Oklahoma State back at last year's Big 12 championship game, and the Cowboys are looking to defeat the Bears for the first time since last October. Now Oklahoma State's coming off their bye week. They're coming in undefeated at 3-0, and Mike Gundy, Spencer Sanders, and the Cowboys are looking to come off a bye with a big victory and looking to get their revenge from last year's Big 12 championship game. There is idea of the Baylor Bears coming out their victory over Iowa State on Saturday, and the Bears are looking to continue winning ways and make it 2 in a row against Oklahoma State. So coming from me in this huge Big 12 rivalry showdown in the rematch of last year's Big 12 championship game, as much as I do not like Oklahoma State, I am going to go with Spencer Sanders and the Oklahoma State Cowboys to get it done on the road and remain undefeated and defeat the Baylor Bears in a banger. And our next matchup, it is a Pac-12 rivalry showdown between the Stanford Cardinal heading to Eugene, Oregon to face the Oregon Ducks. Now this is the 86th meeting between Stanford and Oregon. Stanford leads the all-time series 50-34-1. Now the Cardinal won last year's meeting over the Ducks, and the Ducks are looking to defeat the Cardinal for the first time in over 2 years. Now Stanford is coming off their loss on Saturday night to Washington, and the Cardinal are looking to rebound and bounce back on the road. Their side, you have the Oregon Ducks coming off their come-from-behind victory, defeating Washington State on Saturday. Bo Nix had a big game, and I know my good friend, the Gamers Goon, who is a die-hard Oregon Ducks fan, was happy to see his Ducks get it done. And now we're going to see, can Bo Nix continue that great game against Washington State coming into this week? Because we all know Bo Nix is a roller coaster quarterback. 1 week he's good, 1 week he's not. But the Ducks are looking to continue winning ways and get it done at home. So coming from me in this Pac-12 rivalry showdown, I am going to go with Bo Nix because Bo knows, and Gamers Goons Oregon Ducks to get it done at home and defeat the Stanford Cardinal. Quack, quack. And our next matchup, it is an ACC Atlantic rivalry showdown, another big game in week number 5 of the college football season between the Wake Forest Demon Deacons heading to Tallahassee, Florida to face the undefeated Florida State Seminoles. Now this is the 40th meeting between Wake Forest and Florida State. Florida State leads the all-time series 38-1. Now the Demon Deacons have won the last 2 meetings over the Seminoles back in 2019 and last year, and the Seminoles are looking to defeat the Demon Deacons for the first time since 2018. Now starting off with Wake Forest, they're coming off their heartbreaking loss at home in overtime, losing to the Clemson Tigers, and the Demon Deacons are looking to rebound and bounce back on the road. There is you have the undefeated Florida State Seminoles coming off their beatdown victory over Boston College on Saturday, and I know one of my favorite announcers in wrestling, Kevin Kelly, a die-hard Florida State Seminoles fan, is hopeful his Noles can continue the winning ways and remain undefeated. So coming from me in this huge ACC Atlantic rivalry showdown, another big game in week number 5. Ooh, this one's going to be a good one. This one could definitely be a shootout with Sam Hartman and the Florida State quarterback. This one's going to be good, but coming from me, I am going to go with the undefeated Florida State Seminoles to get it done at home and remain undefeated and defeat the Wake Forest Demon Deacons in a shootout. And now the next matchup. It is an SEC West rivalry showdown, and folks, it's the Battle of the Tigers between the LSU Tigers heading to Jordan-Hare to face the Auburn Tigers. Now this is the 57th meeting between LSU and Auburn. LSU leads the all-time series 31-24-1. Now the Auburn Tigers have won the last 2 meetings over the LSU Tigers back in 2020 and last year, and the LSU Tigers are looking to finally defeat the Auburn Tigers for the first time since 2019. Now LSU is coming off their victory on Saturday over New Mexico, and the Tigers are looking to continue winning ways and get a victory on the road. There is you have the Auburn Tigers coming off their victory in overtime over the Missouri Tigers on Saturday. It was the Tigers affair, and the Tigers are looking to make it 2 in a row against another football squad known as the Tigers and looking to get it done at home. So coming from me in this SEC West rivalry showdown and the Battle of the Tigers Part 2, I am going to go with the LSU Tigers to get it done on the road and defeat the Auburn Tigers. Yo, Tigers! And our next matchup, it is a Big Ten East rivalry showdown between the Michigan State Spartans heading to College Park, Maryland to face the Maryland Terrapins. Now this is the 13th meeting between Michigan State and Maryland. Michigan State leads the all-time series 10-2. Now Sparty has won the last 4 meetings over the Terrapins dating all the way back to 2017, and the Terps are looking to finally defeat Sparty for the first time since 2016. Now both teams are coming off losses against Big Ten opponents on Saturday, Michigan State losing to Minnesota and Maryland losing to Michigan. So coming from me in this Big Ten East rivalry showdown, this one could be really good. Peyton Thorne for Michigan State versus Tallulah Tonga for Maryland. This one's going to be good, but coming from me, I am going to go with Tallulah Tonga and the Maryland Terrapins to rebound and bounce back at home and defeat the Michigan State Spartans in a close one. And now next matchup, it is an SEC West rivalry showdown, another big game in Week 5 between the Texas A&M Aggies heading to Starksville, Mississippi to face the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Now this is the 16th meeting between Texas A&M and Mississippi State. Mississippi State leads the series 8-7. Now the Bulldogs won the last meeting over the Aggies last year, and the Aggies are looking to defeat the Bulldogs for the first time in 2 years. Now Texas A&M is coming off their victory over Arkansas on a last-second missed field goal by Arkansas, and the Aggies are looking to continue winning ways and get it done on the road. Their side of the Mississippi State Bulldogs coming off their victory over Bowling Green on Saturday, and the Bulldogs are looking to continue winning ways and get it done at home. So coming from me in this SEC West rivalry showdown, another big game in Week 5. Ooh, man, I will have to say this. I think Jimbo Fisher's job at Texas A&M is definitely getting hot, because if Texas A&M doesn't have a great year this year, I would not be surprised the Aggies get rid of Jimbo Fisher. But coming from me, those cowbells are going to be ringing in Starksville, because I am going to go with Will Rogers and the Mississippi State Bulldogs to get it done at home and defeat the Texas A&M Aggies in a shootout. And our next matchup, it is a Pac-12 rivalry showdown between the Arizona State Sun Devils heading to the LA Coliseum to face the undefeated USC Trojans. Now this is the 38th meeting between Arizona State and USC. USC leads the all-time series 23-14. Now the Sun Devils won last year's meeting over the Trojans, and the Trojans are looking to finally defeat the Sun Devils for the first time in 2 years. Now Arizona State's coming off their loss on Saturday night to Utah, and I found out last week that Arizona State fired Herm Edwards. I did not see that coming. I thought Herm Edwards was there for the long haul, but Arizona said you got to go, Herm. But it's sad to see Herm go, but I would not be surprised if he finds another coaching job. But the Arizona State Sun Devils are desperately looking to rebound and bounce back on the road. Their side, you have the undefeated USC Trojans coming off their close victory over Oregon State on Saturday. Caleb Williams had a big game, and the Trojans are looking to continue winning ways and remain undefeated. So coming from me in this Pac-12 rivalry showdown, I am going to go with Caleb Williams, Lincoln Riley, and the undefeated USC Trojans to get it done at home and remain undefeated and defeat the Arizona State Sun Devils in a potential blowout. And our next matchup, it is a Big Ten rivalry showdown, and it is the rematch of last year's Big Ten championship game between the reigning Big Ten champions, the undefeated Michigan Wolverines, heading to Iowa City, Iowa, to face the Iowa Hawkeyes. Now, this is the 63rd meeting between Michigan and Iowa. Michigan leads the all-time series 43-15-4. Now, the Wolverines have won the last 2 meetings over the Hawkeyes back in 2019 and last year's Big Ten championship game, and the Hawkeyes are looking finally to defeat the Wolverines for the first time since 2016. Now, both teams are coming out big wins in the Big Ten. Michigan's their victory over Maryland on Saturday, and Iowa's victory over Rutgers. So, coming from me in the rematch of last year's Big Ten championship game, I am going to go with J.J. McCarthy, Kane McNamara, Jim Harbaugh, and the undefeated Michigan Wolverines to get it done on the road and remain undefeated and defeat the Iowa Hawkeyes in a close shootout. And now the next matchup, a huge ACC Atlantic rivalry showdown in which College Game Day will be at this game between the undefeated North Carolina State Wolfpack heading to Death Valley to face the undefeated Clemson Tigers. Now this is the 90th meeting between NC State and Clemson. Clemson leads the all-time series 59-29-1. Now, the Wolfpack defeated the Tigers last year, and the Tigers are looking to defeat the Wolfpack for the first time since 2019. Now, both teams are coming out big victories on Saturday. NC State over UConn, and Clemson in two overtimes over Wake Forest on the road. So, coming from me in this massive ACC Atlantic rivalry showdown in which College Game Day will be at this game this Saturday morning. Ooh, boy, you talk about a huge showdown in the ACC Atlantic. 2 undefeated squads, NC State and Clemson. And you know College Game Day is going to be rocking at Death Valley with Dez and Pat McAfee and Lee Corso, Herb Street, and so many other people. But this one's going to be fun, and I'm definitely going to be ready for Saturday morning for this one. But I am going to go with Dabo Swinney and the undefeated Clemson Tigers to get it done at home and remain undefeated and defeat the North Carolina State Wolfpack in a banger. And now the final 2 matchups in week number 5. Starting off with an SEC West rivalry showdown between the undefeated Alabama Crimson Tide heading to Fayetteville, Arkansas to face the Arkansas Razorbacks. Now this is the 31st meeting between Alabama and Arkansas. Alabama leads the all-time series, folks, 22-8. Now the Crimson Tide have won the last 14 meetings over the Hogs, and the Hogs are looking desperately to find their first win over the Crimson Tide for the first time since 2006. Now, Alabama's coming out their victory over Vandy on Saturday, and Bryce Young, Nick Saban, and the Crimson Tide are looking to continue winning ways and remain undefeated and become and remain a big threat in the SEC. Their side, you have the Razorbacks of Arkansas coming out their heartbreaking loss to Texas A&M on Saturday, and the Razorbacks are looking to rebound and bounce back at home against their biggest and toughest test this season. So coming from me in this SEC West rivalry showdown, this one should be good. I mean, Bryce Young versus KJ Jefferson. This one's going to be good. And this is Arkansas's biggest test of the season. We're going to see if they're the real deal or are they just playing around. This is a big game for them. But coming from me, I am going to go with Bryce Young, Nick Saban, and the Alabama Crimson Tide to get it done on the road and remain undefeated and defeat the Arkansas Razorbacks in a close shootout. Roll Tide! And now the final matchup in week number 5 of my college football predictions is an SEC East rivalry showdown between the reigning national champions, the undefeated Georgia Bulldogs, heading to Columbia, Missouri to face the Missouri Tigers. Now this is only the 12th meeting between Georgia and Missouri. Georgia leads this series, folks, 10-1. Now the Bulldogs have won the last 8 meetings over the Tigers, dating all the way back to 2014, and the Tigers are looking finally to defeat the Bulldogs for the first time since 2013. Now, Georgia's coming out their victory over Kent State on Saturday, and the undefeated reigning national champions are looking to continue winning ways and get it done on the road. There is the Missouri Tigers coming off the loss in double overtime, losing to the Auburn Tigers, and the Tigers are looking to rebound and bounce back at home against the reigning national champions. So, coming from me in this SEC East rivalry showdown and the final pick in week number 5, I am going to go with Stetson Bennett and the reigning national champions, the Georgia Bulldogs, to get it done on the road and remain undefeated and defeat the Missouri Tigers. And those are my Week 5 college football predictions. Now, I want to thank you guys so very much for watching this video today. Comment below. Who do you see winning in week number 5 of the college football season? Do you see any upsets happening? And let me know, who is the biggest surprise in this year's college football season? For me, it's got to be the lot of college basketball, football teams having great years. I mean, North Carolina's having a great year. Duke's having a great year. Kansas is having a great year. It's been very weird. And I would say the biggest disappointment this season, I would say maybe Texas A&M. I mean, they're not clicking as much as I thought they would be. But let me know who you guys got. And as always, represent your college football teams in the comment section. Even if they're having a rough year, like the winless Colorado Buffaloes, or having an amazing year, like the Kansas Jayhawks, represent your teams in the comment section. Let's have a conversation about it. Of course, I'm always on to see your comment, like it, and of course, reply right back to me, because comments and your opinions are absolutely always welcome on this channel. Now, I do want to thank you guys so very much for watching my Week 5 college football predictions today. Again, thank you guys so very much for all the support throughout the month of September for my college football predictions. And again, we're going to continue it going into October and going into the college football bowl season. So again, thank you guys so very much for all the support. Now, before you guys go, as always, you guys can never forget to do this. That like button, comment, share with your friends. Of course, super kick that like button like only you guys can. Of course, you guys can never forget to do this as well. That subscribe button, become part of this bigger and dangerous alliance. We are getting so close to the 1,100 subscriber mark. So again, thank you guys for all your support. Truly blessed you guys being part of this dangerous alliance family. And if you guys are not subscribed to the channel yet, what are you guys waiting for? If you're a fan of professional wrestling, when it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor Wrestling, AEW, and the WWE, and you're a fan of professional sports when it comes to the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, the NFL, and college football, super kick that subscribe button, folks. It's free. You become part of this bigger, dangerous alliance. And I will see you guys later tonight for my Week 4 NFL predictions, and hopefully this week for my official New Japan Pro Wrestling's Royal Quest 2 2022 predictions. Later days, guys. Stay dangerous and peace.